According to the woman who was the first person to create, to make philanthropy a field of study, excuse me, at Stanford Business School, Laura Arriaga Andreessen, a philanthropist is any person who gives anything, time, money, experience, skills, or networks in any amount to create a better world. So, by that definition, or any other definition, Diego Della Valle, who has turned his grandfather's shoemaking business into the billion-dollar company Todd's, is a super gigantic philanthropist. Not only because he put down 34 million of his personal dollars to restore the crumbling Coliseum, but because he has also given to his country in all these other myriad ways. So I'd like to welcome Diego, please.
Hello, Deborah.
Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
So first of all, maybe you should tell everybody the story of how one gets to be in the position to save a hugely important historical and cultural landmark. Can you tell a little bit about the kind of story of your creating your business?
Well, I think that
People like a story.
I try to do with my bad English.
It's perfect.
It's an easy story. It's typical in Italy about one family business that my grandfather started more or less 100 years ago, and my father after him, and now me and my brother continued our business with, at the end of the day, one simple formula that is the same.
Would love to know your one simple formula.
No, but it's the same. It's the same formula to my grandfather. We try to do the best product as is possible. We love to touch leather every moment and every day. Let's see. With this idea, we work. We try, don't forget. Now is less simple than before.
Oh, sorry. Thanks.
Because everything is more complicated for the dimension, for the worldwide vision. But we try, don't forget never that. Our DNA is try to do the best in our business.
The best you can. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Are you okay?
Yes. Okay,
yes.
good.
Yes. And I think we are lucky because we do that in Italy. Italy is the country, one of the country of the made in Italy is an important symbol worldwide about quality.
Right.
We are in Italy. This is an important thing for us. And there is billions of people that love to buy the quality. If we do the real good quality with the dream inside, I think that we have a long life.
But why has it, particularly in Italy, you saw it with the Prada Foundation and with other things, why has it become almost the domain of the fashion world to support Italian culture, both historical and modern?
Because
just because of the economy?
Well, I tell you about my personal point of view.
That's what we want.
We are Italian. We live in the country that everybody know about culture, monuments, good style of life, good quality of life. Mm-hmm. And we need today, especially today, to give a strong sign for our Italian friends and for our stranger people friends that we are ready for support our country in everything as is possible to do. We don't do politics. We are businessmen or entrepreneurs. What we need to do is what is possible to do for our country today. My opinion is that the most important potentially future for us is in the touristic and cultural business. We have a lot of monuments.
For contemporary Italy, for the economy.
Of course,
yeah.
this is what the people want when visit us. We have an incredible quantity of monument arts that need restyling or something. If we don't do, us who do that.
And why, in Italy, there's not the same culture of philanthropy and business people funding things as there is in America or in other parts of Europe. Why is that?
Well, it's true, it's not. But it's the moment to explain to our politics people what is important to do, no? In each direction is important to do. The Coliseum is another thing. It's not only restyling and support one monument. The message, because it's not a sponsor, we don't want nothing for commercial. Give back something.
Right. Well, now, I read that when you announced your donation, you also, in the same breath, said, "Don't worry, there won't be a giant shoe on the on the front of the Coliseum."
Of course. No, but the idea is, as is possible to do for Italian people like me, that we are visible and lucky with a position for our country. Especially if you do, you don't ask back nothing.
Right.
The message is for the other Italian that we are here for our country, and we need to do many things for our country, and it's not important to have back nothing, no? And another point is, why not, if one not only Italian group, maybe an American group, love to do something for Pompeii or for Venice or for Florence, I think why not to give back something for the sponsorship, of course.
All right, so let me ask
we try to explain very well now with I think the actually minister is one young guy, maybe he understands what we need to do.
Who's that?
Franceschini is the actual minister.
Yeah.
For the culture.
Let me ask you a question that may sound, it'll be a backhanded compliment. I think you are a branding genius. You somehow managed, don't worry, I won't be, it's not entirely nice.
Little too much.
You took basically a driving shoe, a moccasin, and figured out that just by putting little plastic studs on, or rubber studs on the bottom, you created an entire value system with this little driving moccasin, this whole idea of a kind of relaxed, rich leisure class that really catapulted the business. Just a simple idea that you really understood could carry all this value along with it. And I think you might actually also be the first person to do celebrity endorsements, although you've never gotten credit for this, by getting those moccasins on Gianni Agnelli, which I think then made loads of people buy the moccasins. So the cynical part is, so that you're clearly a branding genius, and then you take your money and you give it to restoring the Coliseum, basically the most iconic symbol and structure of Italy. So is this just...
Cancel maybe.
Huh?
Cancel maybe.
What'd you say?
No, maybe cancel.
Maybe cancel, oh yeah. But does this kind of reflect back on Todd's, or is this really about Italy and about your belief in your country and giving back to the... It is a softball question after all.
Next time we needed 2 hours for explaining the formula. Is not only a Gomini, but it's a long story about the success of Todd's. For the last question.
Yes, no, I clearly oversimplified the success
of
your business.
We need another meeting. For the, well, I think yes. But for me personally, for our family, we are very proud to be Italian. In Italy now there is a lot of problem. The simple people don't understand the direction. The politics guide, not today, in the last 20 years, was fantastic. Allora, if people like us, we don't need nothing about the politics, we don't need to have back nothing. The people believe in some people like me and like many other a lot. And we need now to give a direction that we are close to Italy, we are close to the simple people with a lot of problems, and we do many things, and if it's possible, we want to do quickly. This is the point.
Kind of philanthropy
after, if the people recognize that the TOTS group, that is a public group, do something for the community and love that, why not?
Right, right. Is the idea of something this big meant to sort of jumpstart and get other people to do the same thing? I mean, it seems like there's now been a succession of fashion brands.
But the people do, because if you watch,
is that because,
if you watch now, yes, if you watch in the last 2 years in Italy, one company restyling the Ponte di Rialto in Venice, Renzo Rosso, and Fendi in Rome restyling the Fontana di Trevi, Bulgari restyling the Fontana in Piazza di Spagna. Is day by day, I think, I hope now it's possible to restyle in Pompeii.
Right.
Well, this is, yes, of course, a lot of people follow, and I think, I hope that many, many others coming.
And what kind of advice would you give other business people about how to assess the value of any philanthropic act? I mean, you're clearly not getting $34 million worth of PR and, you know, people coming into the store. I mean, how does a company weigh?
I think that
what it can do.
There is the marketing time for the company. There is the social touch for the company. You know? I think Coliseum or Ponte di Rialto, the other restyling, is in the second level. No, it's very close to the solidarity of countries. The other one, why not? In America, it's usually. In England, in French too, no? When the people do something, maybe, especially when the company is public, ask back something, no? For the marketing. But if everything is have an elegant touch, don't disturb nobody, why not? In Italy now, for me, we need to do more. Now is the moment for the important people in our country, except the politics. It's very important to do something for our people now, because in Italy there is a lot of problem. The young generation don't work. The old entrepreneurs have a lot of problem too. Now we need to give a strong sign.
Right.
If we don't give that, we do.
We'll take questions in a minute. What do you? Has anyone said to you? But you know, there are all these people that are unemployed. There are all these sort of much more daily pressing problems in Italy with the economy, and here you are giving to a historical monument. Has there been any kind of pushback about that? Why aren't you giving this money to you know, instantly create jobs? Or
we do many things. You know, in our company there is a big solidarity program. The Coliseum maybe is the most visible thing that we do, is one part. But we have a big solidarity program that we call competitivity and solidarity. Competitivity because you need to have a successful company that do profit. Solidarity because it's better, don't forget what there is around us. We have a big programs for our employees, and we have a big program for support the area where we have our factories.
So it's not just, it's about how you run the company.
Sure.
It has to be, so, I mean, should philanthropy and sort of doing social good be part of a company's business plan? Should it be sort of baked into?
I think, yes. Well, I remember when I was young, the friends of my father, when I spoke about it, said, okay, we do as is possible to do. We open factory, we have new employees, it's okay. No, now we need to do another 50% more. When you have success, if you have a strong company, profitable, of course, you need to take time to do something for the community.
Right.
Well, I try to transmit for the young generation too, well, the successful model is not the most rich man, the more successful.
Right.
The successful model in business is one successful businessman do everything. Business, profit, and solidarity.
All together as one thing.
Of
There was a
course.
study a couple of years ago that showed that young people coming out of school, it was important to about, I think the number was about 75% felt that it was important to, they wanted to be part of a company that they felt was doing social good in the world, and that, I can't remember, I think the 68% of those were willing to take a pay cut in order to be part of companies like that.
Sure. What I smell, what I listen, I have one young son, 16, 17-year-olds. The young generation have a strong sensibility about solidarity.
But I think the older generation, we think about it in terms of giving back, which already implies
yes.
we've taken and now we have to give back,
more,
as opposed to
more
just
than our
behaving
generation, for sure. I think
is
completely in the right way. Now is important. The successful model is better. So take time to do a lot of things for the others. Mm-hmm. The young generation follow us.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Can we take some questions from Mr. Della Valle? We've got microphones coming around. Anyone? Yes? Over here?
Mine's not really a question. I just wanted to make a comment. After living in Italy for the last 25 years and dealing with most of the luxury brands, Diego, I think you're incredibly humble. And I think you do a lot more than this little talk is allowing everybody to understand. And I very much salute you and thank you.
I think that's a very good point. Anyone else? There's someone in the back.
What has brought you your greatest joy in business?
Oh, good question.
Cosa ha detto? Non ho sentito.
The greatest joy.
La migliore scelta che l'ha portata a fare questo business.
La mia scelta?
Sì. Felicità, gioia.
La più grande storia?
La più grande gioia che l'ha portata a fare questo business, che questo business ha portato a lei la più grande gioia.
Mazzese, I was born close to my mother. She was an employee in a shoes and bags factory. Was easy the choice because I smell leather all my life. I love it to do. I love to do this business because, especially when we speak about products, because it's an incredible. It's like I don't do a pair of shoes or one bags, but when I watch the people that do that, it's like a small piece of art. You know, this is what we love to do. We start with our factory in the small village in the middle of Italy, and the product arrived in all the most important city around the world, and there is thousands and thousands of people in the middle of this process. I think I am very proud about that, for me, for my peoples.
There's someone over there. Peter?
I was just curious about the kind of cultural aspect of philanthropy and whether there are kind of fundamental differences between different cultures in how philanthropy is considered, and how the role of the state in different, kind of regions might have an impact.
Non sento.
How is it? Okay.
La differenza nelle filantropie tra i vari paesi.
I think that we are in the philanthropy country, no? America is the teacher for everybody about that. I love a lot. In Italy, we are in an important, potentially, philanthropy countries, but the culture now is the 10%. What we need to do, not in 20 years, in 1 year, now, between now to the next 6 months, to convince the government to change the law, to support the company that want to do philanthropy, and finally restyling our fantastic country in 3 years.
What was that about the
This
country?
is my target.
And have you been trying to push through with the government this idea of a public-private partnership that exists in America that doesn't exist in Italy?
Well, now there is one prime minister. He was the mayor in Florence. Right. He knows very well the problems about restyling and philanthropy, I think is very open to do that. And in a few months, I think it's possible to do many things. Before, the mentality, especially for one politics part, was completely wrong. The people think we are the government, that we do that, but don't do never.
Right. And I think to the point that the woman made earlier about your being humble, I mean, you have been an incredibly outspoken critic of the government and of political corruption, where I think very few other industry leaders other people have been afraid to speak up. You've spoken up, but it seems like you've chosen philanthropy over political action as a more efficient way of getting stuff done?
No, well, I believe in that. I think it's very important for us because philanthropy in Italy is equal business. If you do philanthropy, especially for restyling our country, it's not only a cultural ideas. It's fantastic, but it's business because there is 100 million people that want to visit us. And what the people love, arrive in Italy, fantastic airport, fantastic highway, good train, to visit our fantastic city with monument, okay, open. What we need to do, the formula is simple. Now we need to do that.
And you've been involved in the development of a high-speed train, a private high-speed train as well, is that right?
Yes, I am one of. I am one of.
Anyone else? There's someone in the back.
I'm one of your clients with the other brand, Hogan's, and I always appreciated having a pair of shoes that made my 5'7" height 5'10". So I was wondering why you took it out of the United States. Is it because you don't want Americans to be 5'10"? Only the Italian guys my height could be 5'10"?
I hope a big success in Japan.
That's hilarious. Thank you. I think that does it. Oh, wait, there's one more in the back. We have time for one more.
Corruption. Like, how do you make sure that the money that you are investing on the Coliseum is well spent? How does it work?
Come pensa che i soldi che ha messo nel Colosseo siano ben spesi?
Com'è?
Come crede che i soldi nel Colosseo siano ben spesi?
Come credo?
Come lo vede, come lo crede, come lo verifica? Come lo può verificare?
When we have one simple program, 3 years for finish the restyling. Now we have another year and a half, maybe 2. In 2 years, if you arrived in Rome, if you watched the White Coliseum, my money was in the right place, no?
I think we should also say that the project is on schedule, right? I mean, which in Italy, in and of itself, says something. But it's about to. The restoration is on schedule and is due to be finished when?
Our people control the timing.
Your people.
Yeah, but this is the only thing that we ask.
Right.
We pay directly to the government, but we want to control the timing. I think the time is good. There is a good group of young restored guys, very good, very proud to do that. I think maybe when it's finished, it's a very good Italian story. Mm-hmm. I think for when the Colosseum is finished, many other monuments is on the way.
From you and other people who have been inspired by you.
I hope many others,
yes,
many
I hope
others,
so.
many others.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
That's amazing.